Hey guys, what's up? Romeo the Retro got back with another banger for your neck piece, and on today's episode we're going to be looking at the Jordan 35 Zion Williamson PE. Perfect. Make sure you guys stay tuned, hit that like and subscribe button, and we're gonna get right into it, man. Let's take a look at the box, and this is what I'm talking about, Jordan brand. This is crazy. Looks like the box came out of an episode of Swamp Thing, a Bayou kind of effect. Now, for you guys who don't know what a Bayou is, it's a slow-moving creek or river. Finally, if I'm paying $300 for a signature flagship model sneaker, I expect a box like this, man, for $300. This is presentation. Your eyelets to open the box, and you have several cutouts that have that swamp green kind of color. I'm gonna bring you guys through the unboxing experience. The first thing you notice here is the Jordan 35 branding on the front with your Roman numerals 10, 10, 10, and the 5 in red to stand for Jordan 35. And immediately you're faced with this crazy Bayou Boys branding, as well as some swampy kind of fabric here. I believe this is made of wool. You open the second layer, as you see the box splits into half. Pretty cool, and you're greeted with the Jordan 35 Zion PE in all of its splendid swampy glory. I wish that Jordan brand would actually do this sort of unboxing experience for all of their custom PEs. This is the Jordan 35, man. I mean, if it's a Jordan and it's a flagship model, it should have some sort of exciting unboxing experience, especially for the price point. Now, do I think these shoes are worth the price? That's up for question. Not gonna lie, I don't think so personally, but at least the box is exactly as how it's supposed to come. I feel like, once again, Jordan brand, super good job on the unboxing experience. Kind of jam it back in there. They put the extra effort in, at least in the box. Jordan 35 SP7 white lime blast black citron vert explosive. Interesting colorway, even added some French in there. This is a size 10. I got it true to size, and actually got these from footlocker.ca for retail price. Thank God. But I'm wondering why, because this PE should have went really quick. The Jordan 35 isn't receiving very much love, so let's take a look and see if the shoes are as good as they're supposed to be, man. Released on November 30th, 2020 of this year. It comes after the 34 Bayou Boys, so this is actually the second iteration of the Bayou Boys. It has some great designs, but let's just get into the actual tech and features of the shoe. What we have here is a mashup of some interesting colors. Let's take a look at the upper. First thing we have is this cracked faux gator kind of material, and that's what actually it's meant to be. It's meant to be a kind of a gator finish. Obviously the signature, the colorway is Bayou Boys, so they really wanted to give it a swampy kind of feel to it. That's why they've added elements of green, faux cracked gator. So it's basically not real gator, it's fake gator, but it still looks really nice. I do like the texture on it. It has a very kind of like a dry, cracked texture to it. Nothing super silky or smooth or anything, but it's meant to be more of a, like a cracked, kind of a dry leather. Cool design feature. I haven't really seen much of this on a shoe before, so that's something interesting to look at. What we also have is we have a nylon upper with a little bit of ankle padding here. Now, this ankle padding is actually really stiff, unfortunately. I mean, what it does though is it is going to help push your foot to the front of the shoe, which is going to help with lockdown of the shoe in general. But I find these to be extremely stiff. It's not a very soft, plush feeling heel section, so that's one thing that is a little bit different from a retro or something that is a little bit older. They have a lot more of a firm feel to it. This is called Jordan Flywire technology. What it does is it helps to keep a good solid foundation for the shoe. It's a great design element. As you can see, it has these green highlights in them, but the only thing though is that I've heard if you tighten up the shoe to a certain extent, these can actually become abrasive, and on the other side it's just a thin sheet of nylon. So basically, if you're doing a lot of running or a lot of play in these shoes, if you tighten it too much, you might end up rubbing up on your feet, man, and shit might grind a hole into your foot. So be very careful. Make sure that you guys don't tighten up the shoes too much, because they will chafe you right around this section. You know what they should have done with this shoe? They should have put Swamp Thing on this. Can you imagine they put Swamp Thing on the Bayou Boys PE? Whoo, that would have been hot fire. So another feature of the brand new Jordan 35 upper is this Eclipse Plate 2.0. And as you can see here, it has a marbled green design on it. Pretty interesting. This Eclipse Plate's a little bit different from the Jordan 34 in the fact that it actually creeps up the sides of the shoe a lot better. I feel like it's gonna do a lot better job of actually keeping you contained for those lateral movements going side to side. Solidity in the center of the shoe is always a very good idea. That's a lot of times why they add shank plates to shoe, man, to give stability, give structure, and to help the shoe keep its form when you're running around dunking, crossing people over and shit. In between the cracked faux leather, you have a kind of pearlescent hologram Jordan plastic area here. Cool. You have a green Jordan symbol. The tongue here has a black pull tab with a green line on it. This tongue is actually really soft. I feel like it's a nubuck, extremely soft to the touch, very functional. If you'll notice, the lacing system is absolutely cool. I love these laces. I love the color on the laces as well. Really helps to make the shoe pop in its design elements. Green element on the eyelets for the laces, and you have a speckled green design on the laces. Down towards the bottom of the shoe, you have a green 23 in nubuck right here, and on the toe box you have a striped mesh black area, good for breathability because of how thin the fabric is underneath this mesh. But once again, you need the toe box to be able to flex and all that, so they did a good job with that. Getting to the midsole, you have your average white, I'm pretty sure it's Phylon, it's not anything too special, just a regular white midsole, and on the bottom you have your multi-directional gum sole. I love gum soles, man. Gum soles generally perform really well outdoors, indoors. Now when you have your multi-directional herringbone, it's going to be good for any type of movement, forward, back, side to side, diagonal, whatever. If you're a heel striker, if you're a 4-foot striker, this is going to do the trick. Now gum sole is amazing. Bottom of the shoe, you have a green Jordan branding, a Air Zoom branding as well. So you have zoom in the forefront and you got zoom in the back, in the front and in the back. You know what I'm saying? It's a great setup. They're pretty springy, to tell you the truth. Now as far as how it performs compared to the 34, I heard the 34 is just a little bit better than these, to tell you the truth. It's gonna be good for somebody Zion size because of how big he is. Any big players, they really need a good zoom setup. I do like the zoom setup in these shoes. It's actually pretty phenomenal, so I don't really have much to complain about there. The shoe feels nice and light, nice and springy. Yeah. Oh, and the last thing, forgot to take that little tab off. That comes to help protect this little tab here, Nike Air, and it has a boy. It says boys there on the other side of the tab. You have a Jordan 35 in Roman numerals, sort of like the outside of the box, but pretty interesting design element. I love the Roman numeral playoffs, and I love the fact that they added the 5 in red. The inside of the shoe, as you can see, has this Jordan branding, has a very swampy design to it. I'm not sure how long it's gonna stay like that, but the good news is as your shoe gets dirty, it's probably gonna look more and more swamp-like. So I mean, the inside of the shoe, as that gets crusty and dusty, is gonna look like a swamp inside there for sure. Now I have to go over some things I don't like about the shoe. Now the first thing I don't like has to do with the Eclipse Plate. Now I don't know if you guys can see from here, but you can definitely see directly inside the shoe to the zoom pod. Now if you look on the inside, super strange to see a piece of plastic poking so far out of the center of the Eclipse Plate. Now that's one thing I don't like. As you can see, the zoom pod is completely exposed. Same with the rear facing zoom pod, you can kind of see it just poking out. So that's one design element I don't like. Another design element that I had in the shoe was I had a whole bunch of like glue basically on the shoe. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there was pieces of glue on the Air Zoom, and there on the other sneaker of this, there is actually glue just randomly around the Jordan. So I mean, the glue job's getting kind of slack. Other than that, man, I mean, I can't get over these exposed zoom pods and how shitty they were like cut, man, because that thing is sticking out. Like I can see that, like it doesn't matter where you put it, I can see that poking out of the shoe. So I'm not a huge fan of these Eclipse Plates. I wish they'll get rid of it, although it is a cool design element overall. It's just, it makes the shoe feel like a kid's shoe, to tell you the truth, man. It's just a piece of shitty plastic. You got the zoom pod sticking out. This is not something I'm expecting from a premium flagship model Jordan sneaker, especially a Zion Williamson PE. Yeah, Jordan brand, get rid of that thing. I hope for some new tech in the Jordan 36. I can't wait to see what they come up with. Another design element I'm not sure I like that much is the bottom of the shank plate, simply because of how thin this piece of plastic is. Now, if you can notice, there's a lot of flex in there, and I'm sure that they developed that with that in mind, but I still don't like how easily bendable this bridge is. What if you step on a curb the wrong way or something and that piece cracks? I've heard reports of that Eclipse Plate breaking on people and splitting in half, so I hope they get rid of that element in the next Jordan, man. I'm not a huge fan of it. And another thing is this shoe is super light. Other than that, the traction's amazing and the design of the shoe is amazing. It's just too light of a shoe for my tastes. I like something a little bit more bulky, a little bit more beefy, something that shows that I spent $300. Now that box, fire, but the actual weight of the shoe, like I could throw this thing around, man. It's super light. I know athletes like light shoes, but not me, man. I want a $300 Jordan. I want that to be beefcake. I want beefcake on my Jordans, man. You know what I'm saying? I want them thick materials. Even this cracked faux gator leather, not super thick, man. It's really, it's not a thin cut, but it's not that super premium feeling. Like nothing on this shoe feels premium except for the tongue. The tongue really feels premium. Other than that, I want to get my hand on the fragments to see if they're any better than this.
Hey guys, before we get out of here, I just wanted to touch on one thing I didn't quite notice until the end of the video. Now, if you look at the top of the panel of the Eclipse Plate 2.0, I have a deep suspicion that it's actually Braille. Now, if anybody knows how to read Braille or is familiar with Braille, then let me know in the comments, because I obviously am like, I don't know what that says. If it is Braille, it could be just a detail of the Eclipse Plate or just something that was added on, but for some reason I have a feeling this is Braille, just because of the structure of the raised characters there. So if you know what these are, and if it is Braille and you guys are 100%, let me know in the comments if it is, and what does it actually say. Does it say Jordan 35? Does it say Bayou Boys? And what is the reason that Jordan brand would have put that on the shoe in the first place? For those of you who don't know what Braille is, it's the written language of the blind. It's how blind people read, and the technique of reading Braille is called tracking.
Anyways, guys, that's my review for today. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button so you don't miss another episode of the Retro God. Yeah, peace.